And what about your guitars? Tell us about your guitars.
Well, actually, I was here a couple of years ago playing on Matthias Dahmen, and we have been playing Matthias Dahmen for the last 15 years. But this year, just this September, we got two new German luthier, Jakob Liebisch. So he's still quite young. He's in his early 40s. So we played last night two Liebisch. Mine was both are cedar. Mine was Madagascar rosewood, and hers was Cocobolo, which is not Brazilian rosewood, but they're beautiful and or maybe a little even more powerful than the Matthias and Julian. But what I find is the projection. Like in the bigger hall, it will project. It actually reaches out further away.
And is it a double top? Are they double
Yeah. At this point, we're very used to the double top guitars. Yeah, some of my friends are collectors, and they really love the traditional Spanish sounding guitars, and they have been trying to get me to the other side for years. But I love those guitars. We have a collection at the San Francisco Conservatory. We have Hauser, we have Torres, we have the Ramirez, Boucher, Friedrich, and I also have Simplicio, which I really love. But after all, it always comes to the dynamic range. So we're so used to guitars with much bigger dynamic ranges, and also for the two guitars. We can be as quiet as one and as loud as two. So that is really important for us now. Maybe in the recordings, do you have, what guitars do you play?
I have a Martin Blackwell double top. I have a Marin, 1996.
You used to play a Paco Marin.
Mine's Antonio.
Right.
Yeah. I have a new guitar from Michael Cadiz, who is originally from Seattle, lives in Austria now, with Christopher Dean. So I love traditional sound, but double top is very functional.
Yeah, because Blackwell is double top.
Yeah, yeah. But traditional guitar sound is more my spirit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a theory of teachers I heard that when students start to play guitar, it should be traditional.
Yeah.
Because that's the guitar sound.
Yeah,
Double tops. Yeah. Then when you switch to double tops, maybe someday you will still try to find that sound on the double tops instead of, just given a double top, it sounds like a piano even.
Yeah.
You don't actually try to find that beautiful, gorgeous, charming sound from the guitar.
You used to play Smolin?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you still play those Australian guitars?
No, just played for 3-4 years. Small from my teacher.
Yeah. That sound is very different again.
It is different.
Yeah.
It's a heavy guitar.
Oh, very.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a big sound, but it's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those guitars.
Yeah, I think when you won the Tokyo, no, you did not play that. Yeah. When I won the Tokyo competition, I played the Smallman.
Yeah.
And we had two Smallmans at the conservatory in Beijing, and those were John Williams' guitar.
Yeah.
And after a visit, I think he has 1/8 of Chinese in him, and he visited the conservatory, and this was years ago, like in the 90s. In the 90s, so he was there and he saw the students, and he decided to leave his guitar behind for the school, for the students to play on. And later, when he got back to London, he sent over another one. So he left two guitars, two Smallmans for the school, which is really, we're very grateful. Back then, we didn't have many good guitars, so the Smallman was, whoever goes to competition gets to use it. So I was using it for a couple of years, until I came to the States.
Are there any Chinese makers that you think are good?
There are many, many now.
Yeah.
Many like boutique workshops, and they're getting, more reputations now. As before, it was just student level guitar mass production, but now it's like luthiers, many more, and they come to GFA and they come to they go to Europe also to display. Yes, it's getting very good.
Yeah. What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
What's your favorite? Vanilla.
Plain vanilla?
Just vanilla? I think for me it's chocolate. Yeah.
Perfect sense. I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Obviously, you change your set list, what you play in concert every once in a while. Do you have like a shape that you try to do, like a kind of thing you open with? So like you open with a loud or this, or close the first set. Do you think about that in terms of the pieces also? And is it consistent? Like, do you like replace pieces, similar pieces? So if you know you have a soft section in the set and you want to do a different piece, do you look for that kind of piece? Am I making sense?
Yeah, so the program design, I think we usually just follow the chronological order, but we don't like swap pieces, similar pieces. That's not so interesting for us. For example, we would probably include a Chinese piece somewhere, usually in the second half, because the first half like to keep it more traditional and well, in this case, it was not, but French, from Romantic to Impressionistic, and to some colors in the Brazil. So that's kind of our first half. And the second half, we played Tandun, which was heavily inspired by Debussy, and then the Granados, the Spanish, and then finish with Piazzolla. So I think there's still a soft connection and to everything. And well, one thing which we try to do is every piece we play, we have to love it. And because it has to endure, not hundreds of times of practice, but years and 1,000 times of practicing. So yeah, try to bring in interesting things. I think we always put the new pieces, the new music in the second half. And for the encores, we like to do something sweet. It's like thinking about the restaurant menus, the dessert.
So Meg, I was wondering if you could talk about your new concert program that integrates other arts along with music, such as theater, and if you're going to bring that to the U.S. at some point.
Yeah. Well, this happened during COVID, and I was invited to play with a ballerina and to her dance show, a tour of China. We did, I think, 12 cities in China. It was a very difficult time to travel, but we did it. It was the first time I was sitting in such big production. I mean, I was sitting, I play with orchestras, but with all the dance show, and everything is different. Like they would set up a stage for one day. For us, it's like we take the guitars, we go. But for them, it's the lighting and the stage, it's the costumes, it's everything. So it's a very long process of getting something done. And I was the opening piece, which is the habanera from Carmen's Suite. So I was playing the habanera solo guitar, and she would come out and dance the Carmen. So there was a lot of waiting backstage, and I was looking around and saying, why can't the guitar be the main character here instead of ballet? We're all telling stories, and what if the guitar music has all these fancy, projections and lighting and just beautiful. It's a complex forms of art. And so that's my wild dream, and it came true after 2 years. And I personally invested in it, and because no one actually would invest in such a new project that they really didn't know anything about, ticket revenues and if they can get back all the investment. So I personally invested in, I also have a couple of partners, and we found the director from the Shanghai Theater Academy. So she brought a crew with a projection artist and lighting artist, stage design artist. It's a team of 16 people when we tour, and the main character is guitar. That's one thing I made sure is all guitar music. We have a simple storyline. It's like the movie Coco. So a young aspiring guitarist traveled to Spain and get inspired by all the Spanish musicians. So we have 2 Spanish dancers, and we have a Spanish guitarist, and we have a drummer, 6 people on stage, also a contemporary dancer. I was the aspiring Chinese guitarist, and traveled to Spain and got inspired by all the Spanish fire, and then I was lost for a while. Like, why am I here? Can I do something else? Basically, they like re-energized me or let me find my real eternity or something like that. So it's all guitar music with the stories. And we did the premiere in Shanghai and then Shenzhen. So we did 4 shows in 23, and then 2 shows in 24. But it's a really exhilarating experience. So I would went back on stage, and I would wearing my cape, because, as a traveler, as no guitar, just my costume, my cape, and my contemporary dancer would be in front of me. That's my inner soul. So she's portraying my inner soul. Then we walk out stage, and there's smoke, coming out from side, and then the guitar would slowly fall down from the sky. So it's like real, like theater, yeah. So it's like, every time I played, and only 6 times until now, every time it's like a dream. And the final piece that I find myself is a chaconne. So I open with La Catedral, and then some Spanish pieces, Sevilla, La Vida Breve, a settle with the dancers. Then the 7 Desires had the struggles, and then the Schumann piece about the dream is where I find my childhood dreams, and then the chaconne is where I determined to become a musician. So it's all, it's very, even speaking of it, it's exciting. I hope one day we could bring it to here, but it's a lot of things. For all the things on stage, we have 2 trucks of, very long trucks to transport it. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I was just wondering about your, both of you wearing high heels and having your foot this high. I wonder about that because circulation and stuff. How do you manage that?
Well, we certainly don't practice with high heels. Don't practice high heels. The high heels make me personally feel more confident. It's like, I'm a warrior, because, and it feels better with high heels, because just with the high heels, you actually don't have to put your footstool that high, because the heel adds up to it. So actually for the back, it's better for me for the back. I feel like when I'm wearing like flat shoes, I actually have to step higher, so the back has more pressure that way. Well, you didn't like high heels, but since I was wearing, they're very high.
She was wearing high heels.
So she started to catch up. Otherwise, she would be. She's actually taller than me, but if I'm wearing high heels, she would be a little bit lower. So.
Yeah, no. I couldn't standing stable with high heels.
Yeah, so if you watch backstage, she would do this. And, yeah.
After long piece, when we got up to bow, sometimes I feel like the high heels too thin. I couldn't stand well. So
But they look great. So All we care is the looks.
Just motorsport.
Yeah.
You don't like the alternatives to the footstool?
I mean, I tried some of the guitar support, but they're not supportive enough, I think.
Yeah, not so secure.
Yeah, when I practice, I use the big cushion, which is fine. But when I perform, I like to have my leg directly supporting the guitar.
Yeah, stability is much greater.
You talked about practice earlier, and Manuel waking up at 6:30 and practicing. At your level of professionalism and as a maestro, what do you practice? You're not practicing tremolo. You've practiced that long ago. You've got that forever. But what do you find that you have to focus on to practice? Do you practice the pieces? Do you practice the techniques? Do you practice dynamics? Do you practice all of it? At your level, what do you practice versus a student?
I mean, I don't get up at 6:30, that's for sure. And the advantage of practicing for years that you get things done more quickly now. So, for example, before it would take a month to get this piece, to master it, of all the techniques. It's probably taking a week now. And also, you start to really plan your practice. What are my focuses now? And if I only have 2 hours today, what would I be practicing? For me, always the first most important part is the technique. So I do my warm-up exercises. I do scales, arpeggios, slurs, dotted rhythm, rest stroke, free stroke, and tremolo, some more arpeggios, different combinations. And that would only take me about 25 minutes. So all of that. Sometimes I would go with left hand slurs. I do the Yobet sword variation. There's one variation I can So my right hand is free, right? So I would turn the metronomes. I try to be creative. Yeah, drink coffee and
With the iPad.
watching the iPad.
Watching iPad.
Yeah, sometimes I only watch TV when I do my scales. Because this is not an excuse, but sometimes you get to let it do it, like let the fingers be free, be natural. So instead of enforcing the speed onto them, I think especially with the higher speed, you're focused with the muscles, but you don't add any additional pressure from your mind. Like, you gotta do this speed. No, just whatever speed it feels it's capable of. But even though I'm not like, you like to say that I watch TV sometimes, but I'm not like watching TV. I just have it like as a distraction, basically, but not when I practice pieces. So for example, I have 2 hours, then half hour would be for techniques, which is very intense. And then actually I would start with probably a little sight reading, just to please myself. Like I was doing, whatever my students are playing. I help them pick them actually. And then I would practice a little bit sight reading and techniques. And then I would get to for example, I was learning a new piece like last month. Within a very short time, like in 2 weeks, I have to premiere it. It was pretty challenging, so I would put half hour to that. And then actually, you can get a lot done in 2 hours. What about you? Well, Yamon actually has very limited time of practice.
Yeah, now I practice only after 11 p.m. maybe, or 10, because I have 2 kids. I practice after they go sleep, so it's limited time. So I practice first. I practice what we perform next. If I have a spare time, so I play some music.
So no techniques, no warm-ups. Microwaved.
Yes, just to, when I pick up guitar to practice the, concerts.
You know, Mark and I had the same conversation. Because he's very interested in techniques, but when I asked what he does, he said he doesn't do techniques.
Yeah.
Just pick up the guitar and play.
But I think it before, but now, these years, I couldn't, I haven't had time.
Yeah, but that's a talent. If I don't do, techniques for a week, I'd be very, clumsy.
It would come back. Just
Yeah, for her, yes.
I have one more question.
sure.
About the vibrato. It seemed that you were doing a very quick one, and she was doing a more slow, broader one, or something.
Well, vibrato, we try to, judging by the sound, vibrato, I used to say that there's two kinds of vibrato. Actually, there's actually three aspects to it. One is the width of it, so narrow vibrato or wide vibrato. One is the speed, fast vibrato, slower vibrato. So with that, you get four combinations. Right? You get fast and narrow, fast and wide, slow and wide, slow and narrow. But then recently, I realized, there's one more aspect to it, is the length of vibrato. So for example, a note is half note, so it takes 2 beats. At what point do you start the vibrato? At what point do you end the vibrato? That's another thing. Sometimes you don't actually start the vibrato when the note happens. You start it right after. Or you arrive and you start the vibrato. So we try to match each other for that. And yesterday I noticed that after the granados, dee da dee dee, and she would go. So actually I could see her hand from this angle. And I noticed that when I stopped, you were still going with the vibrato, which is still was very quiet, but that's how long she was thinking the phrase is. So that's good. But we try to match up everything. And tones also. I have a darker tone, but she has a brighter tone. But with kind of the, say, granados, with that second beautiful second balls, we try to phrase the same way and tone similar range. It can't be exactly the same, but similar range. Yeah. Like warm colors or cold colors, no colors. Yeah.
I love that you played by heart.
Right, it's not easy. We probably won't do it for the next program. Definitely not for new music. Like, it's impossible to memorize them. With limited time. But playing by heart, I feel like it's more one less thing you have to worry about. If you think about it, if playing guitar is so difficult. You have the hands, the mind, the ears. With the music, then the eyes. The eyes are looking here, right? Then you have to look here, then look here, and then you have to turn pages. Oh.
And then you have to look at your partner.
Yeah, and with the iPad, I'm using iPad too, and but I try not to use the pedal.
I wink.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Facial recognition.
Yeah.
Once you get used to it, it's okay, but it can be a challenge at first.
But what about if you have to turn pages, every page? So you wink every page?
No, I do a lot by hand.
Oh, yeah.
But if you have to play across the page.
Okay, yeah.
Just
Yeah, I think by hands is more reliable. I don't know how many times on stage my Bluetooth pedals stopped working.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was time in Australia when we were playing quartets with the Gregorian brothers, and my iPad just didn't disconnect it with the pedal. So now if I have to use a pedal, which sometimes I do, I would disconnect the Bluetooth on both devices. And when I get on stage, I would turn them back on. So they would pair like instantly. So like restart the pairing, and that's more better. I always change the batteries before the concert. Yeah.
I was on a radio show here in Seattle. 30 seconds before we went on the air, the foot switch wouldn't pair. But I could do everything by hand except one piece. And so the host, who could read music, and he said he would count pages, but the show is an hour long. And we're talking and playing and talking and playing, and then it comes to the last piece, and he forgets that he's got a page, and he just introduces me. So I'm playing. So he came over, and he'd never page turned on an iPad before, and at one point the page went the wrong way, and he didn't notice. I'm playing it, it's like,
Also with the pedal,
Very simple.
you have to practice that. The
Yeah.
turn pages, sometimes it's just one tap, sometimes you can do a
Double.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the pedal, sometimes if you just press once, it will turn 2 pages.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
it's very,
Yeah, with the high heels.
high heels is, yeah, not so easy. Actually, I had a student playing the same recital a couple of days ago, and he was playing the Legnani Capriccio, that piece, and the beginning chords, it happened like 4 times, and the second time, he did yet, and then something flew out of him. It was the fake nail on the A finger, and to a point that he couldn't play. You know, the A finger would not touch the string, and there was no sound to the chord. So he just stood up and bowed. Exit. So that's another thing to remember. If you're using fake nails, always put another drop of glue before the concert, before the performance.
Live by high technology, die by high technology.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is for Yuming, and so Ming was saying that you were her role model while she was growing up. So I'm wondering, who was your role model when you first started out?
Sure. Yeah. It's
Or inspiration?
Barreto.
Barreto.
Yeah. So because I listened many of his CDs. Yeah. I think.
And now you have the opportunity to perform with him, and
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Yeah. That's.
It's it's wonderful and scary at the same time, because we're so used to rehearsing with each other. You know, everything's, you know, there's a, you don't have to speak much about it. But with Mr. Barreto, he's the lead, so we have to see what he's doing, and he likes to talk about it, and he stops a lot. So it was a very intense experience rehearsing with him. Yeah, and he would change things on the spot, and fingerings and everything. So we have to match up quickly. Yeah. But it's great. And the funniest part was that I remember many concerts were about to go on, and he would say, "Okay, I'm going home. You go do it." So, bye, I'm going home. Yeah. But he's really, back to him, he does a lot of exercises, preparation for the concerts, which inspires a lot. Like he would do one thing is visualization. He would do that constantly, all the time. Like on the airplane, you know, when he's flying, he would have the sheet music. He doesn't have an iPad. He probably won't change to it. Yeah, old school with the sheet music. He was, you know, making lots of different stickers on. You know, here I had a memory slip. Here, okay, here this color, that color, different highlighters, and then he would turn the pages, and they would just visualize there and try to visualize the left hand fingerings, which I do visualize. I think is really, really helpful to realize what you're actually doing without the guitar. Because with the guitar, it's everything at the same time. I think I realized the advantage of practicing something solely by itself. Like, okay, arpeggios, just focus on the right hand. Slurs, just focus on the left hand. So the other hand doesn't have much of task to also actually distract you, attention. So yeah, for visualizations, you don't actually play anything, but you're thinking about it in your mind, and what I'm doing here, what is the next chord, what is the next passage, what finger is here, what finger is here, what finger you start with the scale. Is it I? Is it M? Is it, what string?
It's so difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult.
When I did that on airplane, I fall asleep soon. 2 lines later, I fall asleep. It's the brain.
It's a good sleep aid. Mental practice.
Did you ever role model in China? I mean, or did you have to unlearn everything you learned there and you never talk about it?
Role models, I mean, we were probably the first couple of generations of classical guitarists. I mean, after the revolution, the guitar was considered a bad instrument for years. Like, it's too romantic, it's about love, it's about emotions. You're not supposed to talk about it or play it. So it's for the bad, for the gangsters to play the guitar. But after the revolution, I think it was in the 80s, all of a sudden there's guitar videos on TV and inspired a generation of actually young men and women to play the guitar. So that generation is the first generation. They became the first generation of teachers too. Well, most of them weren't musically educated, but they had other jobs. So they had our first teacher. He worked in a railway station, so he has other jobs, but he just loved the guitar, and he was self-taught. And back then there was no resources. You can get scores, so we would get copies of scores from probably Japan, from Russia, but there's only one copy, and you don't have a copy machine anywhere. So he's a heavy smoker, so he would tear up his cigarette carton, and he would draw the lines and then hand copy all the music on the carton.
We use that.
And he's very strict. I mean, he would yell and bang on the table to every child and to their parents. I mean, he would proudly say that, oh, yeah, out of my students, Meng was the only one who did not cry.
I cried a lot.
Just not in front of her.
No, in front of
No,
him.
in front of him.
Yeah, I was the only one that never cried.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So hard.
So the poker face back then.
No,
And my first story in my first lesson, so he said, Yameng was sitting in this very chair and she was not listening, and her father would kick her out to the next room, like literally kick her out.
that is exaggerated, but yes.
So, I mean, the education, music education, you would see lots of young Asian kids, and they excel at the instruments because the parents also putting a lot of focus and attention to the education. Like my mom would always come with me to the lesson and take notes, and keep enforcing it to me the week after. She's like my coach, and I'm doing a summer workshop in Shanghai area every year now. We just did our second year. You see lots of young kids, and both of their parents will come for the week, and they would take notes, they would record the lesson, they would actually practice with the kid. So there's lots of time devoted in there. And their kids are very, very talented, very good at young age.
Did you, so you said you had TV videos. Did you also have records? Because my first teacher, I'd always spend at his house and listen to all his records, and he'd lend me records and stuff.
Yeah, records, CDs came in later. I do remember my mom would take me to we call the foreign language bookstore, where they would have imported CDs. And I remember one of the CDs I listened to like a million times was Annie Sophie Mutter's Carmen Fantasy. So that she was playing with orchestra and some other CDs, very few guitar CDs. But it was available, but not before 2000, I would say. Our teacher, he was able to get some of the cassettes and the VTS from Japan. So we watched a lot of VTS in his home. One I remember we watched over and over again was Yamashita's recording. And in those recordings, he would play and he would be very expressive, the body language, and he would play and he would stand up like this. So all the kids were trying to to do that with, I think he was playing the romanza, but he was like so expressive to the point that he stood up. So we were all trying to do that, which was bad. Good. And after, after we came here, 2006, the YouTube has gotten, widespread, and we played in Korea in 2004, and that was recorded into a DVD. And those videos were uploaded to YouTube by, I don't know, someone, and it went viral at the time. I think when I was on my first day to Peabody, we had the convocation, and one of the Valens students said to me, "Are you the person who played the Capriccio number 24 on YouTube on guitar?" I said, "Yeah." So that video got millions of views, also yours as well. So yeah, with YouTube and everything now, it's good and bad. I think YouTube is pretty good, but TikTok and all those short attention span videos are actually pretty bad. Bad for I don't do it like myself, to watch TikTok and Reels. I mean, they're like 20 seconds long, as you kind of exhaust your interest span. You're not able to handle something longer and more substantial. Yeah. So, any more questions?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.